Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 1st of August and we're going to deal with a very important topic, that is West Asia, because it is boiling right now. West Asia, a region which is fascinated all, a region which has world's one of the highest oil and natural gas reserves, a region which is under political turmoil since long. One of the political conflicts is between Israel and the other Islamic countries over there. This intensified when in October 2023, Hamas attacked Israel. In response, the Israeli Defense Forces also launched an offensive against Hamas. In solidarity with Hamas, there were countries like Iran, there were groupings like Hezbollah and the Houthis of Yemen. Now, in a major development in this warlike situation over there, Israel has assassinated two key figures in the region. One was the military head of the Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, and second was the military commander of Lebanese Hezbollah. Both militant organizations targeting Israel currently. This event definitely will make the situation more complicated in West Asia. And let's pray with folded hands. What happens over there just gets resolved soon. Then we will come to the MCQs and we'll deal with them, and obviously we'll be discussing the MCQs of yesterday. Now West Asia boils. To understand West Asia, we need to understand the map. This is basically what West Asia looks like. Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman. Then we have Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Cyprus, Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, these countries over there. Now, there is an inherent, I would say, conflict in this particular region among various, I would say, parties in the region. Not political parties, but yes, these are countries. And this conflict is either on the basis of religion or on the basis of sects in a religion. Like, for example, there is Shias, there is Sunnis among the Muslims. Then there are Jews, Israelis. So, this conflict between these cultural groups has led to political conflict in that region. And that political conflict has been ongoing since long. It is not coming to an end. And that has left this particular region more vulnerable. Development obviously is impacted due to all of these. Other countries in the world definitely are impacted due to these conflicts. And that is something which is concerning. Now, let us look at the region through the lens of a triangle. I have dealt with that before as well. But yes, some of the viewers are new. So for them, it becomes important that we deal with the triangle once again. This we call as the triangle of West Asia. Now, there are three major groupings in West Asia. One is basically the Sunni Muslims. Second is basically the Shias. And the third is basically the Jews. Now, coming on to the Sunni Muslims, countries like UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Bahrain, Palestine. Palestine will also include organizations like Hamas over here. Talking about the Shias, we have one country in the Shias, or Shia dominated, that is Iran. But there are militant groups, Shia militant groups present in other countries which belong to this faction of Islam. These are Hezbollah, this is in Lebanon. Remember, these are not the government, but yes, groupings over there. Then we have the Houthis. These are in Yemen. So these are Shias over there in West Asia. Then when we talk about the Jews, we have Israel as a country. Now, the thing which you need to understand is that there is conflict on every line. There is conflict between the Sunnis and the Shias. This conflict is, bound in the history. There is conflict between the Sunni Muslims and the Jews. Why? Because the Jews came back in the 1930s, 40s, displaced the Sunni Muslims, particularly these Palestinians, which led to conflict. And in solidarity of Palestinians, all these Arab countries came. There is conflict on this line as well between the Shias and the Jews, because Shias, that is Iran, majorly established a Shia theocratic government in Iran in 1979. This Shia theocratic government was very much critical of the Western powers like America, and those countries in West Asia which were supported by America, and the country in West Asia which was supported by America was none other than Israel. So, this conflict on all the lines has led to the complexity of that region. A major development happened in 2020. This is called as Abraham Accords. Abraham Accords was a peace deal brokered by USA between Israel on one side and UAE, Bahrain on the other side. Means this particular leg of conflict was moving towards a resolution. They established diplomatic relations with each other. And other countries like Qatar, Egypt, all these followed suit. Means they also established diplomatic relations with Israel. Saudi Arabia as such did not, but Saudi Arabia was silent on it. So things seemed better on this leg. But Palestinians, they started feeling that they have been ditched. They have been ditched by their fellow Sunni Arab Muslims. In support of the Palestinians came Iran, said that I will be supporting you. Don't worry. And October last year, 2023, it was Hamas which attacked the Jews, that is Israel. And when Hamas attacked Israel, October 2023, in solidarity of Hamas came the Houthis. They did some blockades in the Red Sea, which we know. Hezbollah has come in support of Hamas, which simply means that this leg is getting also, solidarity among them. But that solidarity is for a different reason. They want to target Israel. It is like this. So, this complexity we need to understand. Now, what has happened? The military leader of Hezbollah, Fuad Shukr, has been assassinated by Israel. So, this assassination has been done. Military leader of Hezbollah attacked. It is being believed that Hezbollah attacked one of the regions in, I would say, Israel, that is the Golan Heights, which was occupied from Syria by Israel in 1967. There, an attack was there, and 12 innocent children died, and that attack was believed to be by Hezbollah. So, in response, that military leader of Hezbollah has been assassinated. Then, Hamas leader has been assassinated. This Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh, was there in Iran for the swearing in ceremony of Iran's new president, Mr. Pezeshkian. So these two assassinations by Israel definitely are going to complicate the situation in West Asia. So I'm moving aside. You can take a screenshot if you want, but yes, I hope you understood this complexity through this triangle. And today's video is going to be a bit long, but yes, we need to understand this. Now, assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. So here is the person. He was the military head of Hamas. And assassinating a military head simply means a moral victory for the Israeli Defense Forces. Ismail Haniyeh was Qatar based, living in Qatar. Public face of Hamas he was. He was assassinated in Iran in what might mark a defining moment in the ongoing war between Israel and the Palestinian militant group. A Sunni militant group, that is Hamas, leader attending the swearing in ceremony of Shia country, that is Iran, the president's swearing in ceremony. And after the swearing in ceremony, when he came back to stay wherever he was staying, there he was assassinated. Where was Haniyeh assassinated? He was killed in Tehran, where he had gone to attend the inauguration of newly elected Iranian president Masoud Pezeshkian. Has India issued any response to this event? As of now, no. And coincidentally, Mr. Nitin Gadkari from India was also present at the swearing in ceremony. However, where the swearing in ceremony was happening, assassination did not happen there. It happened somewhere else, where Mr. Haniyeh was staying. So, it is this way. What does this assassination mean for different stakeholders? Now, we need to understand what does it mean for different stakeholders. For Israel, definitely it is a success. Because October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched an offensive and killed at least 1,200 Israeli civilians and military personnel and took 250 as hostages, Israeli Defense Forces launched an offensive. They launched a program or an operation known as Operation Swords of Iron. And Haniyeh is the most highly placed Hamas figure to have been killed so far. So Operation Swords of Iron was targeting Hamas. Now they've killed the leader of Hamas, military leader of Hamas. So for them, it is a victory. For Hamas, a provocation is there because they have definitely been impacted negatively and they've been provoked. For Hamas perspective, this is a major provocation since Haniyeh was the head of its political bureau based in Qatar. He was a public face of Hamas and as was negotiating the terms and of the hostages deal and the ceasefire also. So this hostages deal ceasefire was being negotiated with Israel, brokered by USA, Qatar and Egypt. So USA was also wanting that this conflict goes down. Hamas issued a statement. Hamas mourned the death of Haniyeh, saying he was killed in a treacherous Zionist raid on his residence in Tehran. Zionist raid means Zionists are the Israelis, the Jews. And this definitely is going to anger Hamas. They are definitely going to retaliate. The supreme leader of Iran, where Mr. Haniyeh was assassinated, has issued a statement and has said that the responsibility of avenging the death of Mr. Haniyeh is now of Iran. So Iran definitely will be in that war. A message that Iran is not safe at all. This message has also gone in the region and the entire world, definitely denting Iran's image. This targeted strike took place. It is not like a general strike which has killed many, but a targeted strike was there. Means intelligence gathering was spot on. The combat skills or the operational skills of the Israeli Defense Forces were spot on, and it clearly unearthed the shortcomings of Iran. Pressure on Pezeshkian, the new Iranian president. This new Iranian president is a doctor, and in the elections, it was declared that in Iran generally elections are between the hardliners, Islamic hardliners, which are the radicals, and liberals. Very seldom liberals have become the Iranian presidents, and this time Pezeshkian is a liberal who has become an Iranian president, and his one of the agenda was to start talks with the Western countries because he had highlighted the economic hardships which are being faced by Iran due to Western sanctions. But now there will be more pressure on him to you know avenge the death of the Hamas leader over there in Iran. So Iran and Hamas, there will now be calls for avenging Haniyeh's death. Now Pezeshkian's reach to the West is a big question because Pezeshkian is being pressurized to target Israel, which is pro-West or West is supporting Israel. So this has complicated the situation for the president in the starting of his term. Let's see how he deals with it. But with Haniyeh's assassination, Pezeshkian will be under pressure from IRGC. IRGC is Iranian Revolutionary Government Corps like this. This is basically a military wing or one of the most powerful bodies in Iran. Then Iran will defend its territorial integrity, dignity, honor, and pride and will make the terrorist occupiers regret their cowardly act of assassinating Haniyeh in Tehran. This is an official statement issued by Pezeshkian, the new president of Iran. Lifeline for Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the leader of Israel. He was being criticized that you are not able to do anything since October. But this particular development definitely will be a feather in the cap of Netanyahu, a sigh of relief for him. He might have, gathered more public support due to these killings. The assassination gives a lifeline to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He has been facing questions about his leadership and his political survival was at stake. There has been growing pressure on him to finally strike the hostage deal with Hamas, which was being brokered by US, Egypt, and Qatar. The assassination has the potential to upend all such efforts for the time being. Netanyahu will likely stay in the war is over. Means he'll stay there in power. Questions for Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris is basically the presidential candidate, currently the vice president. Now, she in her many speeches has said that she is going to go hard on Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. Although US and Israel have good terms, but she is going to pressurize Netanyahu to end the war because no one is liking the war. And most importantly, the young Americans over there in America, they are also criticizing the war. They are criticizing Israel, that why this war has to go on. So Kamala Harris wants their support also, the young voters over there. And that is why she had declared that she's going to go hard on Netanyahu. Now, with these assassinations, when Hamas will be retaliating more, Iran will be retaliating more against Israel. Obviously, can she pressurize Netanyahu to go soft when she becomes the president? If she does, then things will be complicated for her as well. The campaign for US elections in November is now at a pivotal stage, with Vice President Kamala Harris now the prospective Democratic nominee. She has signaled that she will be tougher on Netanyahu and his war in Gaza as compared to her predecessor, Joe Biden. This is especially crucial as Harris is focused on getting the support of younger Democratic voters, which are against the war. The assassination complicates things for her. She will now have to think and formulate a response in case there is an escalation in the region, which most likely will be. On West Asia, so for West Asia, the overall, this has been, detrimental. This has complicated the situation over there further. This is actually not good news at all. Qatar, Turkey, Yemeni Houthis, they have already condemned this assassination. And the top regional players like Saudi Arabia, UAE are watching. They have not said anything as of now. After more than 9 months of war in Gaza, this is a defining moment. After the development in April, when there was a there was a risk of escalation, and that risk of escalation in April was between Iran and Israel. There were some drone strikes or airstrikes on each other. But yes, that was tackled. On India, what impact it is going to have? Basically, we are still processing the developments. We did not recognize Hamas, neither we had or showed any solidarity with Hamas earlier. So you might be thinking that this will have negligible impact on India. But yes, if we see the broader region, West Asia, which will be in turmoil, which is expected to be in turmoil, then India has a lot of interests in West Asia. We have huge diaspora over there. Energy imports from that region happen into India. Then a lot of trade India has with those countries. So if that entire region will be in turmoil, then things will be problematic for India as well. India definitely is going to be impacted negatively. So this is what is there. Then next is assassination of senior Hezbollah leader in Hezbollah, and his name was Fuad Shukr. Hezbollah is a Shia militant group, and this Shia militant group is also against Israel as of now because they are showing their solidarity with the Hamas, a Sunni militant group. So this Hezbollah, the Shiite militant group based in Lebanon, said this its senior commander Fuad Shukr was killed in an Israeli airstrike in the capital Beirut. Israeli Defense Forces also posted on their X account how Shukr, the Hezbollah's most senior military commander and right-hand man of Hezbollah General Secretary Mr. Hassan Nasrallah, had been eliminated. So Israeli Defense Forces are clearly claiming that we have eliminated Mr. Shukr. Is it seen as a retaliation? The act is being seen as a retaliation for a rocket strike in Israel-controlled Golan Heights on Sunday that led to deaths of 12 children and teenagers. However, Hezbollah is saying that we did not do this attack, which had killed these teenagers and 12 children. And now Hezbollah, after this incident, when Mr. Fuad Shukr has been assassinated, is saying that you'll have to pay the prices, right? That is why I am saying that it is expected that West Asia is going to go into further deep crisis. Hamas on one side, Hezbollah on the other side. So, Israel in between. Let's see how Israel tackles it. This is not a new situation for Israel, although. Who are the Hezbollahs? Hezbollah, basically the name comes from Party of God, is a Shiite Islamic militant organization from Lebanon. The think tank Center for Strategic and International Studies has described it as the world's most heavily armed non-state actor. They are heavily armed, and there are also reports that they have nuclear arms with them, with a large and diverse stockpile of unguided artillery rockets as well as ballistic, anti-air, anti-tank and anti-ship missiles. So heavily armed they are. The history of Hezbollah. How did Hezbollah get formed? In modern history, Lebanon was under a French mandate until 1943, means it was under the French control. And after this French control ended, power was divided into various religious groups over there in Lebanon. Posts such as Prime Minister and President of the country reserved for people of a particular region. religious denomination. Now, origin of Hezbollah. How Hezbollah originated? Hezbollah originated during the Lebanese Civil War, 1975 to 1990. Now, if we see Lebanon's location, Lebanon is over here. This is the Israel-Lebanon border. Lebanon is north of Israel. So north of Israel, what happened was a lot of you know Palestinians, they went and settled over there in Lebanon to save their lives from the Israelis, from the Jews. Here the conflict was going on between Israelis and the Palestinians, Jews and the Palestinians. So a lot of Palestinians went and settled down over there in Lebanon. And from there they were attacking Israel, the Jews over here. In response, Israel was also attacking them. And then these people in Lebanon were like, Ki, bhai, what are you doing in our territory? Unnecessarily violence is getting spread. So initially when Lebanon was formed, their movement was against the Palestinians who came and settled down over there. Lebanese, Hezbollah were Shias, and these Palestinians who went and settled down over there were Sunnis. So bhai, they were pushing them back to Israel. Then these Hezbollah also got in conflict with the Israeli defense forces because Israeli defense forces were coming there and spreading violence. So gradually, Hezbollah developed the target, and their target was Western countries, and their target was Israel as well. Hezbollah is Shiite. They got full support from Iran. In fact, they got formed with the funding from Iran, and Iran was hardcore anti-West. So Hezbollah was also anti-West. Hezbollah was also anti-Israel because Iran was also hardcore anti-Israel. And Hezbollah had their personal differences with Israel as well because Israeli defense forces were coming there and targeting the Palestinians. The Hezbollah definitely had grudges against the Palestinians as well, who came there and settled over there, and from they were creating nuisance over there in Lebanon. So it was like this. It originated during the Lebanese Civil War 1975 to 1990, which was going on, which was a result of long simmering discontent of the large armed Palestinian presence in the country. According to the Council on Foreign Relations, Palestinian refugees in Lebanon were targeting Israel and being targeted by them. They were Palestinian refugees were there in Lebanon. From there, they were targeting Israel, and in return, they were getting targeted by Israeli defense forces. Their presence also led to Israeli forces invading southern Lebanon in 1978 and again in 1982 to expel the Palestinian guerrilla fighters. This would lead to the formation of Hezbollah. This actually led to the formation of Hezbollah, which was also inspired by the formation of a theocratic Islamic government in Iran in 1979. Before 1979, in Iran, there was a monarch. But in 1979, there was this theocratic Islamic government which was formed. This was a Shiite government, and Hezbollahs were also Shia. So they definitely got inspired. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is the full form of IRGC. This was Iran's, I would say, premier military body, provided funds and training to the budding militia, that is Hezbollah. Aim of Hezbollah is to oppose Israel and Western influence in West Asia. It has also long, with Russia and Iran, supported the regime of President Bashar al-Assad in neighboring Syria. Bashar al-Assad also happens to be from the Shia community during its civil war. It became more visible in Lebanese politics in the mid 2000s and currently holds 13 of the country's 128 members parliament. So they are there in the parliament also of Lebanon. But in the recent years, there have been protests against its work in the country with worsening issues of unemployment, government debt, and poverty. So they are politically also active. Global recognition. Many Western countries have recognized Hezbollah as a militant organization and or a terrorist organization. And the Gulf Cooperation Council has also, recognized Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Gulf Cooperation Council has these six countries: Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. All these are Sunni countries. So, Sunni countries definitely, there is this conflict between Sunnis and Shias. So, definitely it will term Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Now, a task for you guys is to find out whether India has identified Hezbollah as a terrorist organization or labeled Hezbollah as a terrorist organization or not. And you can mention in the comment section. Why is Hezbollah in the conflict, this current conflict? because it is in solidarity with the Hamas fighters, Hamas, which are Sunni fighters based in the Gaza Strip in Palestine, Israel-Palestine region. So they are in solidarity with them. So as we saw in the triangle which we made with respect to West Asia, so Hezbollah over here, a Shia militant group, is in solidarity of the Hamas, which is a Sunni group, and that is why they are there in this particular conflict. I hope you've understood the complexities of West Asia. Now coming to the MCQs. Which of the following is a Shia militant group based in West Asia? Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS. ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. And next, last is Al Qaeda. So you have to find the correct answer, which is relatively easy now, I guess. Second, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Hezbollah is a militant group based in Lebanon. Hezbollah is against Western influence in West Asia. So which among them are true? Recently, Operation Swords of Iron was in news. It refers to an offensive launched by Hezbollah on Israel, killing 12 innocent children. An offensive launched by Hamas in Israel on October 2023. An offensive launched by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. And last is an offensive launched by Israeli Defense Forces against Hamas. So, which among them is true? Which of the following countries is brokering a hostage deal between Hamas and Israel? USA, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. You have to find the correct combination. Only 1 and 2, only 1 and 3, only 1 and 4, only 1, 3 and 4. Last question. Which of the below mentioned countries is not part of Gulf Cooperation Council? Egypt, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia. So, these are the 5 questions for today. Now the MCQs of yesterday. Yesterday was all about Wayanad landslides and other extreme weather events happening in the country. The landslides occur due to which of the following reasons? First, weak topography, high soil moisture, and third is mining and quarrying by humans. Weak topography definitely can lead to landslides. High soil moisture can make the soil soft and definitely that can slide. Mining and quarrying by humans, definitely the tremors created by mining and quarrying make the topography weak. So all three of the above are responsible for landslides in any region. Which of these rivers do not flow in Kerala? So Iruvanipuza is that river which was which inundated that lake. So that was the river in news. So this is there. So this is actually not the correct answer. Periyar river also flows in Kerala. Kaveri, here is the catch. Kaveri originates in Karnataka, flows into Tamil Nadu. One of the tributaries of Kaveri, in fact, 2-3 tributaries of Kaveri, they originate in Kerala and meet Kaveri. Kabini is one of them. Okay. So this also originates in Kerala, so this is also found in Kerala. So Kaveri is the correct answer. Kaveri river does not flow in Kerala at all. It originates in Karnataka and goes into Tamil Nadu. Third, consider the following statements with respect to eco-sensitive zones and mark how many of them are correct. They act as shock absorbers for protected areas, national parks and wildlife sanctuary. This statement is correct. They can extend anywhere from 1 kilometer to 10 kilometer or even beyond that. Yes, this is also correct. They can extend beyond 10 kilometers also, but minimum they have to be 10 kilometers. Sawmills are allowed to function in ESZs. They are prohibited. They are not allowed to function. So only 2 statements are correct. This is the correct answer of this question. And last is, which of the following statements with respect to recommendations by the Madhav Gadgil committee are true? Madhav Gadgil committee which recommended more stringent measures for ecological conservation of that region. The committee declared entire Western Ghats as ESZ, ecologically sensitive zones. Yes. Mining was to be allowed in certain less fragile parts of the region. This is also true, but regulated mining had to be allowed. So here, both the statements are correct. C is the correct answer. So with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising, keep watching the videos, keep attempting the questions. I hope you guys are enjoying that. We are nearing to our 1-year anniversary. I'll declare when we started this last year. So, thank you for the overwhelming response I've been getting from you students. Namaste. Jai Hind.